Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li waziran min ahli Harun akhi ushdud bihi azri washriku fi amri kay nusabbihaka kaseera wa nadhkuraka kaseera innaka kunta bina basira. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Any comments by anyone, brotherly? Would you like to say something? All right, so we'll start Bismillah, the 22nd word, which is on the words page 311 in the book, which is on, we're on the 8th flash, which is on understanding divine unity. On one is a superficial way of where we say, yes, everything is coming from God, and the author says we have to, which makes sense to me, on looking at the universe, seeing the evidence, and coming to a conclusion along with the universe that, yes, indeed, confirming the message, indeed, everything is being created, coming into existence by an absolute being. So seeing the signs in the creation, showing the qualities, looking at them, observing them, going behind what their appearance means, why are they coming into existence, seeing and observing carefully, seeing the manifestations, that what do the qualities on each and every being points to, what it shows to me, how the order, the balance, harmony in the universe shows that there's only an absolute being who can be responsible for bringing these things the way they are, acting the way they are, being displayed, manifested. The art that is shown in the universe shows that the artist knows what he is doing. So we'll go with the 8th flash. Any sort of seed sown in a field shows that the field must be at the disposal of the seed's owner, and that the seed too is under the disposal of the one who has control of the field. Similarly, the arable field of beings, known as the elements and their universality and comprehensiveness, as well as their sameness and uncomplex nature, and the plants and animals, these fruits of mercy. So the plants, animals, whatever we see in the universe are fruits of mercy, miracles of power. Do we see them as fruits of mercy, as miracles of power? And words of wisdom, known as creatures. So these creatures, do we just take them as they are, randomly happening naturally? They're there, they're always there. So don't see them as miracles of power. They have been made purposefully, created. If I look at the bird or the grass or the insects, see them that they are purposefully made by the one who holds power, knowledge, wisdom, will. So the miracles of power and words of wisdom, known as creatures. And they're spreading to most places and settling everywhere, as well as they're being similar and resembling one another, show that they are under the disposal of a single miracle displaying maker, and in such a way that it is as if every flower, fruit, and animal is a seal, a stamp, and signature of its maker. Wherever they are found, each says through the tongue of disposition, whosever seal I am, the place I am found is also of his making. Whosever seal I am, the place I am found is also of his making. Whosever stamp I am, this place is a missive of his. Whosever signature I am, this land too is of his weaving. That means to be sustainer of the least creature is particular to the one who holds all the elements in the grasp of his power. Anyone who is not blind can see that to regulate and govern the simplest animal is particular to the one who has all beings in the grasp of his dominicality. So this paragraph gives the example for us to understand about the seed in a field. So whoever owns the seed and whoever owns the land is the same. So the seed too is under the disposal of the one who has control, whoever has control of the land, so he controls the water, whatever, as a farmer. So he has that responsibility within it, within that particular field area. So if he has, I don't know, cows or oxen, so that's also within his disposal to use in his land. If he has any equipment, yes, that's also within his disposal to use within that land. So similarly, in this universe, which is also can be seen as a flourishing field of all kinds of creatures, of beings. And this is a beautiful way of seeing that these beings, plants and animals, all those, they show some similarity, but all distinct, unique in their being. And seeing them as fruits of mercy, so a quality that they are coming there, they are existing, not by themselves, but out of someone who deliberately favored them to come into existence, to be displayed to conscious beings like me who is observing the things in the universe. Seeing them as miracles of power. So, I mean, imagine the seed and look at the seed, what the shape, size of the seed is, look at its, and then after when you sow it and then the plant shoot comes in and a plant comes out on a tree, and no one can imagine that that little small seed now became such a huge tree. How is that? It's the most marvelous thing ever if we see about it, look at it. And even the same thing with the human being through fluid, and then all these wonderful creation of a human being is nothing short of a miracle of power. And then each being having their own purpose and qualities comes with the words of wisdom. So that's how the universe is, the view of the universe is, and from how the Quran presents it, how the prophetic message presents it, which is very contrary to how the science books may present it. And then of course they're spreading, so it's not just I don't have to travel the whole universe, but just one being, one particle can be studied to conclude that whoever is the owner of that particle owns all the particles in the universe. So the concept of the seal. So whosever seal I am, the place I am found is also of his making. So whoever owns one particle or one seed, one atom, also owns the whole universe, or wherever that atom resides. So the whole place is also shows his ownership, his seal, or the one who made it. And stamp, whoever made the seed or the particle, whoever stamp I am, it could say this place is a missive of his. So the whole place is also his message, his stamp. Everything gives his indication, shows him, the one who brings the things into existence. Same thing with the signature. All right, any comment on this paragraph before I move to the next one? All right, so let's continue. Oh, Brother Ali, please go ahead.
Actually, you said it. You said it. Just I needed to, I felt the need to emphasize on the importance of this seed and field relationship, and coming then all the elements, and what is elements, I understand, represents the field, the elements, and yeah, the elements represent the field, and the creatures that we can see as animals or plants, any kind of plants, any kind of animals, they look like the seed. So when we study the elements, they may seem to be simple. But when we look at a creature, and a plant or an animal, it looks so complicated. So, for example, a bird, when we look at the bird, it is so complicated, and also this creature demonstrates many qualities on it. So wherever the bird goes, eats, has its nest and eggs, and whatever the connection, it has all the elements related to the life of the bird, not only body of the bird, but life of the bird must belong to the same owner of the bird. That means, as you said it, but I wanted to emphasize on it. For example, when we look at the globe of the Earth, of course, its field is solar system. So whoever arranged the globe of the Earth must be the owner of the solar system. Solar system is a part of another field, galaxies or galaxy clusters, whatever they are. It means if we understand that in the existence of one bird, even a cell of the body of the bird, there are qualities which are named here as signatures, stamps, seals, whatever the signs we see them. That is enough to understand who the owner of the whole universe must be. I don't have to go to the galaxies because of this analysis here. Whoever owns the seed must own the field, because seed is arranged according to the qualities of the field. Elements are employed there. So in order to make the bird, you have to own the elements and elements of what the bird is going to eat and where the bird is going to live, and air the bird is going to breathe, sunlight the bird is going to uh, benefit from in order to see its environment. So that is what we understand, that we don't have to travel the universe and say that, oh, there is no creator other than the one who created the universe, conclude. And then people may say, have you seen everywhere in the universe? I don't need it. That is the relationship between the seed and the field, and the elements and the things which are made out of these elements. This relationship is important, inshallah. That's what I wanted to emphasize on it.
Thank you, Brother Ali. All right, so if anybody wants to share any comments, you can jump in anytime as well. So indeed, through the tongue of similarity to other individuals, through the tongue of similarity to other individuals, all individual beings say, only one who owns my species can be my owner. It cannot be otherwise. And through the tongue of spreading over the face of the earth, together with other species, each species says, only one who owns the whole face of the earth can be our owner. It cannot be otherwise. And through the tongue of being bound to the sun and other planets and mutually supportive with the skies, the earth says, only one who is owner of the whole universe can be my owner. It cannot be otherwise. Yes, supposing someone were to say to a conscious apple, you are my work of art. Through the tongue of disposition, the apple would reply, be silent. If you are capable of fashioning all the other apples on the earth, indeed, if you can have disposal over all my fellows, the other fruit-bearing trees spread over the earth, and all the gifts of the most merciful proceeding from the treasury of mercy in boatloads, then you can claim to be my sustainer. The apple would say that and aim a slap at that foolish person. So a few more examples on how each and every being declares the same thing. If they are similar, they can show us the stamps, the signatures are all belonging to the one who designed that particular being, and then the rest of it. So whoever designed one type of apple and all the rest of the apples, because the similarity must be the same owner. When it cannot be otherwise. For example, there's a stamp that's placed on, let's say, the cell phones, and it's by the same manufacturer. And everybody recognizes very easily, oh, this is the manufacturer, it's made by this company. But when we look at the things in the universe, we don't even see the stamp. We don't see who it's the maker of all the species, let's say, of plants that are available, of the fruits that we see in the supermarket. So each one declares that they are made by the one who owns each species of of the same fruit, same plant, this whole universe. All right. Any comment on this paragraph? Only one who is the owner of the whole universe can be my owner. It cannot be otherwise. So every being can potentially declare this if they understand who they belong to. All right. Let's move to the 9th flash. We have pointed out some of the seals, stamps, and signatures on particulars and parts, universals and wholes, on the world as a whole and on life, living beings and raising to life. Now we shall indicate one of the countless stamps on species. Since the countless fruits of a fruit-bearing tree are administered from one center, in accordance with one law and a single way of raising, the difficulty, hardship, and expense are transformed into ease. It is so easy, the numerous fruits raised become equal to a single fruit. That means in regard to quantity, multiplicity, and numerous centers necessitate the difficulty, expense, and equipment of the whole tree for a single fruit. The difference is only in regard to quality. Like all the factories required for the whole army are necessary to manufacture all the military equipment necessary for a single soldier. That is to say, if the matter passes from unity to multiplicity, in respect of quantity, the difficulties increase to the number of individuals. Thus, the extraordinary ease to be seen clearly in all species is the result of the ease and facility arising from unity. I think this is the main point. The ease and facility arising from unity and how the things are coming into existence with ease and such facility and ease that it shows that it can only be the same owner, the same manufacturer, the same maker from unity. Otherwise, it gives the example of a factory and for the equipment of a soldier, his equipment, and the more soldiers it needs, the more difficult the task becomes. And we can look at the way, for example, these shipping companies are now have optimizing their huge infrastructures and ways to make it easy and facilitate the delivery of, however, the online delivery system, how you get your orders when you order online. There's a constant improvement and learning that is happening, and still it is not the perfect scenario case. But coming into existence with ease and facility is just a whole different matter. Yes, Brother Ali.
Exactly. Let's be practical. In order to make a telephone, one telephone, we have to make the whole factory or all the plan, all information. We have to have it. But making the cloth or the dress for a soldier, you have to have the all manufacturing place. When you have the manufacturing place, now it can make another, because the system is not there. Sorry, the system is there. It is ready. So in order to make one animal, we have to have the plan, program, all information, all talents must be there. But after having one of them, establishing the system, it becomes very easy to produce many of the same thing, same one. This is human example. Although in the universe, nothing, no telephone is the same, using the telephone example. But in human manufacturing, all the telephones coming from the same system of production system, they are the same. But in the universe, in real life, every bird is different. Every human being is definitely different. We can recognize it easily. What is this text saying us? That the universe is working so perfectly with a very easy way the things are coming from, because the manufacturer, the engineer is one. The same engineer applies the same system. The order establishes the order in a same way, so that we should understand that the particles, the elements, they cannot really get together, make one thing, and without knowing other pieces. I don't know whether it makes sense that I'm really clear about it. Only one engineer, only one production system, one production line, only one factory makes everything easy to come into existence. If we see that the universe is controlled by one engineer, if you like, then it is easy to explain how the things are coming into existence easily, because the producer is the one. But of course, these are the examples when we see the soldiers' clothes, dresses, equipments. These are human activities, human productions. But the engineer of the universe, the owner of the universe, makes everything similar, but not exactly the same, but with the same order as he establishes it. That is how we can easily explain that the things are easily coming into existence, because the source of creation is one, and he must be the absolute one, because every production, whatever is produced in the universe, is unique to its own being. I don't know whether it makes sense. I don't feel very comfortable or satisfied what I said. It makes sense, but try to understand this text. If you contribute and help me, I will be happy.
Yeah, so if anybody would like to add or share how they understand this, maybe we can take an example. For example, let's say a flower or a plant. Let's use maybe a flower. So whoever owns the knowledge, the skill to make that flower, to bring it into existence, to bring one flower, it becomes easy because it's the same knowledge, skill, power, all the other flowers or the whole species of flowers. And practically, we can see that, let's say, the phone manufacturer for one line of phones, so they go and source out, get the supplies for that particular line of production. So they take ownership of it, and that's how they are able to produce all those multiple phones in a much, ease and facility, although it's not that much ease and facility. There are always things that go wrong in the systems, how they are, maybe some events happen in the manufacturing process, some disasters happen. So there are all sorts of different challenges that the company faces, but then they work on it to make that happen. But when it comes to the existence of the flower or anything in the universe, whoever makes one particle knows how to make one particle, one flower, must know all the other flowers as well in that, and that we see in or experience in the universe. So it is important to understand that this ease and facility comes with absoluteness, with the unity, the source being one. That's how the ease and facility would happen. But I'm sure other people can share their understanding and make the case easy, possibly. Anyone who would like to explain this a little, in other words?
Assalamu alaikum. So what's the point in all this? Like when I observe anything in creation or my experiences, I should be vigilant that this is coming from an absolute source of existence. Everything is coming from the same source, because I'm really trying to practically apply it to my day-to-day. So pretty much the whole point of the author pinpointing that how everything is coming with perfect ease and facility should help me with reasoning and concluding what I go through here, what I experience, and so on and so forth. I'm just trying to make it practical. I mean, we all know theoretically, if we start reasoning, yeah, okay, everything is following in order, but it points to an absolute source of existence. And so just living with this awareness should ease our tasks here.
Okay, thank you. But this uniqueness, one center, one law, single way of raising, transforms the hardship into ease, because it says they're numerous, numerous fruits raised become equal to single only through one center. This is the paragraph I'm trying to understand, this part. So that means in regard to quantity, multiplicity and numerous centers necessitate the difficulty, expense, and equipment of the whole tree for a single fruit. So if it's not one center and numerous centers, then that will involve difficulty, expense, whereas the difference is only in regard to quality. What does this mean? The difference is only in regard to quality.
Not quantity.
So one is quantity.
Yeah, not quantity. How many telephones you produce is not important. In order to produce even one telephone, you have to have all information needed to produce the telephone. That is why quantity is not important. Quality is important. Once you establish the factory, you produce many of them now. But in the previous paragraph, as you touched upon, actually, the phrase says, administered from one center. That is important, as Feriha pointed out as well. The whole universe is, if we understand that the whole universe needs to be administered from one center, it is easy to understand, to give existence to everything, because this one has the quality to make many things at the same time because of his absolute qualities. So if we distribute this production to elements, each element of the world must have the same qualities in order to make all the universe and whatever in it. But an element cannot go anywhere, cannot know anything apart from where they are subjected to the order of the universe. So any atom cannot go anywhere as it wishes, as it wills. So they cannot be the source of existence of anything, because they have no quality to establish the factory of the tree. For example, an element in the tree cannot be the source of the existence of the tree, but the one who planted and has the quality to create the tree, then he can produce many trees like that tree, because we know that his quality is enough to create the apple tree. So he can create the plum tree, or pomegranate tree, or banana tree, because he has the quality to create one plant, demonstrates that he can create the other plant, other tree as well. But the elements cannot know anything apart from their own position where they are. They have no free will, they have no knowledge. I don't know how the people satisfy themselves explaining that the elements produces the tree. They don't know the tree, whole tree. They don't know the future of the tree. They don't know the fruit of the tree. How can they organize between themselves, although they don't have free will, to unite to make the tree, and it will be extremely difficult to explain the existence of the universe, the elements of apple tree, plant, organized, the apple trees, how do you say, apple trees manufacturing place, or apple trees plan, program. They cannot know it. So for the mind, it becomes extremely difficult to explain. It means, in fact, it becomes impossible to explain the existence of the thousands of different apples, plants or animate beings by attributing the elements to their elements. It is impossible to explain it. But if we attribute it and realize that whoever established the universe is the source of existence of all trees, because he must have the quality to create one tree, so he can create the other tree as well, and he can create the animal as well, living beings as well. We can easily understand and explain the existence of the universe.
Alhamdulillah, thank you. These comments helped a lot, actually. So in terms of the quantity, if it goes from one center to multiple centers and more things have to be produced, it becomes more challenging and difficult. So one center in terms of quantity helps, but the quality is also the main thing that is needed. So in terms of the existence, whoever has the quality to bring the species into existence, the same one has the quality. Since he has the quality, shows that everything else can come with ease and facility by the same one possessing those qualities. All right, any other comment on this before we move to in short? All right, in short, the conformity and similarity in basic members between all the individuals of a species and all the species of a genus prove that they are the works of a single maker, because the unity of the pen and oneness of the seal requires this. So the unity of the pen and oneness of the seal requires this, that they are the work of a single maker. Similarly, the observable absolute ease and lack of difficulty require, indeed necessitate, that they are the works of one maker. Otherwise, difficulties rising to the degree of impossibility would doom the genus and the species to non-existence. So conformity and similarity points out between all the individuals that they are the works of a single maker. That's what we observe by looking at the conformity and similarity in the beings. Single maker, because the unity of the pen, so however they're created, requires oneness based on how the seal shows. So similarly, the observable absolute ease and lack of difficulty necessitate that they are the works of one maker, which I think in the previous paragraph we kind of looked at. Yes, Brother Ali. Go ahead.
Now, I'm trying to make it easy to understand and also make sense to me. And the example must be very simple. So there are two options in the world, in this, world of philosophy or world of thinking. Either the universe has one creator, or everything acts independently by itself. Nursi says either there is one creator, or there are creators to the numbers of the elements of the universe. In between, impossible to explain the existence. So applying this theory or this model of thinking, I say, looking at a book, it is written by one author. We can say human beings can cooperate together and write two authors can write one book, each chapter by someone. Not to confuse that. The book makes sense from the beginning to the end. Every section, every chapter, every paragraph, every sentence, every word are consistent with each other. Although they are different, but consistent with each other. This is the book. There are two options. Either this book is written by one author, or every the particle of the ink developed, and at the end became a whole meaningful book. That's what they say. Although it is ridiculous to claim this, when you look at it, when you think about it in terms of this simple example, no one can say this. But what the materialist people say, in one way or another, the matter itself developed and became perfect as a whole. It means the elements of the book developed, improved, or evolved, adjusted themselves so that at the end, the whole book became meaningful. Because the universe is working perfectly in a meaningful way. But when it comes to the existence of the universe, they say elements developed themselves and at the end became a perfect order of the universe. When you apply it to the book, it looks ridiculous, but I don't know how they believe or convince themselves that elements developed by themselves into perfect beings, each being perfectly acting in harmony with each other, whole universe. It never makes sense. But when you say, well, the book must have an author, this materialist philosophy or materialist scientists say, we don't see the author. We have to explain the existence of the book within itself, because we don't know the author, we haven't seen it. And we don't know, we haven't seen, or we are not seeing the author is writing the book now. That's what their excuse is, so ridiculous. Here is the book, demonstrates is that the works of one maker. Every pages of the book demonstrates that all of the book is the work of one maker. It is easy to understand this, but we didn't see the maker, we didn't see the author, so they try to explain how the book developed itself, or the particles, elements of the book, arranged and developed, evolved themselves in order to become a perfect, meaningful book. I don't know how they convince themselves. Either I am taking it on a very simple level, or these people are not honest at all when they claim that the universe developed by itself, evolved by itself. I don't know. What do you say?
I like the simple example that you gave about the book by one author. Yeah, that makes sense. I don't know how the science books, what they write, that as if each and every being is acting by themselves. I don't know how people buy into it, because as you said, they don't see the one maker, so they say we don't see the author or the maker, or we don't see the one that is changing continuously. So they just fall within the veil, so not looking beneath the veil of creation.
I think it is the matter of intention. Yeah, I think so. Prejudice. I don't want to believe in religion. I don't want to follow religion. Maybe they may say, I'm not going to listen to the priests. But it is nothing to do with the priest, and being the sermons of the priests are very simple, but it is a matter of explaining existence. How do you explain if you don't like the church or the mosque? Okay, don't like it. How do you explain the existence? Or how do you explain your own existence? When it comes to their explaining the existence of anything, including the whole universe, they claim or they present a way of explaining which never, ever makes sense. But they say, look, the cell itself is adjusting self, the cell or the whatever is in the cell, some substances in the cell are adjusting themselves. Yes, of course, the book is being written, and the letters are following each other in a meaningful way because of the author. Not the letters themselves are adapting. They cannot. Whatever they are written, it is, for example, say it's A is here, B is here, and they cannot change their position. How do you say that they adjusted themselves? They have no free will. They have to follow the order. And order never changes. Interesting.
Yeah, so this understanding of the works of one maker actually makes one's life very easy and comfortable as well. Otherwise, I'll be worried all the time. If the things are acting on their own, and I don't see that this is the work of one author, one maker, all this existence. Although the Quran emphasizes it, this author emphasizes it. I mean, we are supposed to become very comfortable and relaxed with this understanding, inshallah. Okay, so we will conclude. Yeah, if anybody has any comments or wants to share anything, please go ahead. It's a very good topic, actually, to digest. To conclude, if all things are ascribed to Almighty God, they become as easy as a single thing. while if they are attributed to causes, they become as difficult as everything. Since it is thus, the extraordinary profusion observed in the universe and the boundless abundance before our eyes display a stamp of unity like the sun. So all this profusion, this multiplicity in beings, abundance of things, we see around us the plants, trees, fruits, vegetables, birds, insects, abundance, grass, display a stamp of unity for us, should display that, the works of one maker. If these fruits which we obtain is in such plenty were not the property of the single one of unity, we would not have a single pomegranate to eat. Even if we gave the whole world of it. So a challenge, if these fruits which we obtain in such plenty, we just go to the supermarket and buy the fruits in plenty. If they were not seen as the property of the single one of unity, then everything would be so difficult that we wouldn't even have it. Impossible to give existence to make that thing. So that's why this unity is a very interesting topic. Single one of unity. All right, any final conclusions by anyone before we close for today? Okay, so inshallah we will continue next time from the 10th flash. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana innaka antal alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wahum alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bi hurmati surat al-Fatiha. Thank you everyone. Assalamu alaikum.